Alright everybody, we're back with Let's Play Demon Souls. This is QuadKiter here. It is Sunday afternoon, having my coffee, and then we're going to decide which area we're going to go to next. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and spend my souls that I gained from the last level. We'll go with 30 vitality, boost endurance to 19. See if we have any souls collected. I'm not sure quite how many these give. Yeah, I don't think I'll have enough for another level. Oh wow, man. One trick you can do here, if you have a lot of souls that you want to use, go ahead and you can actually equip them to your quick slot. So what I'll do here is put them on that one, and then you can just go ahead and instead of going to the menu every time to use them, you can go ahead and use them just by hitting square. And then I'll go ahead and level one more time. Oh, one off. What are the odds? Alright. And we're going to go ahead and start investing a little more in faith. Just because I think if you get to 36, it unlocks another miracle slot. And with the faith build, you don't have to really invest too much in strength unless you're using another faith weapon, or in dexterity. So one more NPC appeared here in the Nexus, and it is our good friend Ostrava of Boletaria.
At its peak, Boletaria was a grand kingdom. The king, his knights, and his subjects were modest and plain, but also steadfast and compassionate. In the distant southern kingdom, Boletaria was known as paradise on earth. But look at what has become of us now. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land.
So he's still in denial. He will appear in the third level of World 1, and
here in Boletaria, we speak of the legend of
and then he gives you a little overarching
the two swords are Demon Brand and Soul
lore. You can.
One sword banishes that which befouls man, and the other banishes man himself. The last hero is old King Doran. King Doran is the everlasting one, founder of Boletaria and protector of the two swords. Of course, only according to legend. But in the dark state of our land, legends are all we can depend upon.
Alright, so what he's actually talking about are you can find those weapons. They're called the Soul Brant and the Demon Brant, respectively. And one of them increases in damage when you have white character tendency, and one of them increases in damage when you have black character tendency. And it's a good build because you don't have to invest in any stats other than the strength for it to scale, since it's based off of your character tendency. So it's good for some lower level fighting, but at higher levels, since the damage doesn't scale, there's no real reason to use it. So this is the jail level, as you can tell, the Tower of Latria. And so you actually start off inside of a prison cell here. This is probably the most complicated of all the levels in Demon Souls. It took me a while to get comfortable doing it, just because of all the nuances that you have to find out. But basically, they have all these keys, and each key will open a subsequent door. And then once you open those doors, you have to find more keys and so on. and there are multiple stories in this area, so and each story looks very similar, so it's easy to
Please help me.
become confused about where you've already been. But after enough times through it, you get the idea. Now, right there was a corpse with wizard gear. You can use that set. It's the starting set for the magician, I believe, and also the royalty. Okay, so now that we got the first key, I think I have to go over here. And in these cells, some of the cells have NPCs in them that plead with you to let them go. It's kind of funny at first, but you some of them will ambush you, and the others will get in your way. I had at least once accidentally locked onto one of the NPCs and rolled off the edge here. The middle of the fencing, the railing sometimes disappears, and it's a pitfall into the center. That item that I just got was some mercury stone. It's used to make poison weapons. It's good for some ninja builds that try to use dots. And these enemies are like Cthulhu mages, kind of, that the octopus heads. And they have a couple different attack spells they use. That guy did his AoE stun 3 times in a row. They'll do a range spell from distance, and then they'll have that blue glowing spell is like a paralysis, and so allows them time to run up and start draining you with their octopus sucker tentacle, draining your life essence. But yeah, mercury weapons, I've tried using them a little bit, but not. If you're using a weapon that is not scaling with a stat, you're gonna have a hard time with it at higher difficulty levels, because this game does have New Game Plus, and the difficulty will actually, you can repeat the game up to, well, indefinitely, but the difficulty will increase 8 times with increased damage of monsters and increased hit points for them. So as your character scales more and more, the iteration of the game scales more and more. But only the first New Game Plus is the most extreme increase in difficulty. It's not a linear increase. A lot of garbage items here. I'm just gonna go through them so I don't forget to get anything. Now, some of the stairways here, they have railing as well, but they have these pitfalls, and some of them won't have that railing there. So if you don't know where you're going, there's a couple of traps the game has in this level where you can run right into a pitfall or a crevasse. I'm pretty sure I already got the keys over here. So once you get that key, you run back to the beginning of the level, and there's a gate that you can unlock there. Those Cthulhu monsters, they don't really do that much damage to me, because I can just, even when they land that paralysis, their attack animation is so long, and the stun buys you enough time for the faith build regeneration to just restore the majority of the health that they're going to take off. If you don't have a high vitality build, they can be a little bit more dangerous, especially if you're not careful. Very easy for them to get that stun off after sucking you once. Don't mean to be crude, but it's what they do. And then they'll stun you, and then go ahead and hit you again. But like I said, I just kill these guys, not for any real benefit other than to make sure they don't they don't cause me to fall off the edge. And what you have here is an Iron Maiden too, so you can open these up, and there's a couple items in this area that you'll be able to get by doing that. As you can see right there, there's like six or seven monsters. Oh, I'll be able to open that up in a second. But right here, you just need to be extra careful. Pretty sure this is the way I need to go, but you can never be too sure. Oh, see the ambushers. Some of them will attack, and then some of them will let you be. Then you can start hearing that singing. If you look right here, there's a couple of guys actually, they're stuck inside of some water pots. You can choose to free them or just take them out. Can't let these guys roaming around their depraved minds. But once you get over in this area, I'm not going to remember what floor I'm on, or I have all this stuff is just visually imprinted in my brain. I don't know how to describe where to go unless you started from the beginning. That guy had the thief's armor on, and the black leather will provide a bonus to poison resistance. So oftentimes you'll do this level before doing World 5, and you can equip that armor and have even more poison resistance, which is, it's a pretty good idea, especially if you can't get the poison rings. Speak of the devil. I can hear the Cthulhu guy casting a spell. But he gave me way too much time. I like point my screen downwards just to make sure I'm not walking off a ledge, using my light source to highlight the ground. Right here you can see there's some railing missing, so. But then right up here, I'll show you. I'm pretty sure there's a gap. Yep, look at that. Some of these will just drop down to a lower level, so they're not all lethal. But that's probably just a precaution to teach you to watch where you're going for later in the level. But now that I just picked up another key, we can go back up this way and open another gate. So you can see why a lot of players, they find this level to be confusing, or at least their first time through it, the first couple of times. Oh, caught me in midair. If you have enough range when that paralysis hits you, you can just roll backwards like that, and you can roll out of the paralysis before he can attack you. But you want to roll away from them anyway, just because they might do that AoE stun. There's some iron plates here that tell you where you are for the first time through, so you can have a way of gauging if you're in the same area or not. And then the source of that singing, let me guess, this was the other side of that gap that I showed off. So we've come around through the outside and found the singing NPC. And right here we're about out of time. I'm gonna stop this video here, and then we'll continue on in the next Let's Play. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.